All right, well that cut off, which is actually probably a good thing. You take a break. Um, I am really, really happy with my yellow green. You can see it right there. You see how subtle that step is. It's like almost imperceptible. And you know, the problem with teaching online is art doesn't look the same on a computer ever. Neither does color. But you can see the step, hopefully, from yellow to yellow green. And you can also see it on the tip of this pencil, hopefully. Hold this up. There it is. So hard to see, but you can see on the tip of this color. You can actually see it better against that purple. This is yellow-green. It's so light it almost looks like yellow-orange, but that's the goal. That's what you want. Okay, I think you get the mixing idea. I'm going to zoom out a little and continue on. And I'm going to go to green. Now that I've done yellow-green, lower this a little. Okay, so green is grass green. Green is not green green. Green is something that people also make too dark. It should feel like yellow green. If something feels like the lighter color of itself next to it, you're in good shape. It's gonna dry darker, and it may fool your eye, and you may not even realize what you've mixed until you've started painting. Because the minute you add water to a hue, it changes the entire experience of it. If you feel like this is a little bit yellow-orange, I'm gonna double check this. I'm really not changing much. I'm just using what's on my pen here. And I'm gonna make sure I have enough blue. I'm gonna do the same thing here. It's almost perfect. But I'm doing a fleck so that if I don't like it, it's not overkill. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do after this to verify this. You can actually mix these with your fingers too, which I think I might do. I'm not liking this pen. That's a nice green. A nice natural green. Now this is blue-green. And I'm doing this pretty aggressively because this is the last one I can do before I wipe it off. I'm gonna put a dot. Just make sure if you do that with your fingers that you're not dipping into more than one color. So you can see what's happening now. Boom, 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 boom. We're starting to have a relationship of like stair steps. That's a pretty good blue-green. We don't want the blue-green to look too much like the blue. Okay. All right, so that's good. And then I'm gonna come down here, that blue. Now I can wipe everything and do my blue-violet, and so on, and so on, and so on. Pretty good. I'm gonna do my violet. Oh, that's a nice, that looks pretty darn good for violet. Pretty happy. Violet is not as purpley bluey as you would think. And then, okay, then I'm skipping black and mud for now. Red violet should be like a brick. Honestly, I feel like I was chintzy with the amount of paint that I used. I think I was so afraid that the video would cut off or something and that I wouldn't have any yellow to finish telling you, you know, the process. But at least you can see the color. Okay, now I'm going to do my, starting with my yellow-orange down. Just a dot of red, just a dot. I barely, you know, I scraped it with the tip of my finger and that was it. There we go. That's it, yellow-orange. Now, the reason people get confused is the yellow we're using is already pretty warm in temperature, so it can throw you off. But try not to let it. Try to keep your yellow-orange real close to that, because it's the same thing. We're not using a lemony lemon. Now, see how red-orange this is? This is way too red-orange. I need a lot more yellow. That one, I say, was the most off of all of them. Because this is supposed to look like a pumpkin. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so now when this happens and you completely have a mess up like this, scrape it out and put it over in the next one. Scrape it out of your orange and put it in the red-orange. Because I just made red-orange. Worse than ever. Now, if I start adding yellow, 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 I'll lose my entire container, which is why that just happened. I added yellow, and instead of adding this to yellow, but I had nowhere else to go with it. This is red-orange. That, see how they're the same, basically? So you know what I like to do when this happens? Scoop the whole darn thing out and put it over there. Don't be afraid to get in there. All right, so now I have red-orange over there. Now I can go like this and look. Now, see, that's red-orange. This is not orange. The only way to salvage this is to scrape everything out. I'm really glad this happened, because this is what happens a lot, is put it all over there. If it's not much, you can just wipe it off. You don't want to waste it, but you don't want to, you know, have it be on the side. So I'm starting over here, basically. I'm starting over with yellow, and the only thing left in that well, even though it might look like paint, is just residue. It's a smear on the bottom. So now I'm gonna make orange. Now it's finally getting to be real orange, like a pumpkin. Now the minute you get your orange right, you'll see that your yellow orange might be too dark. I feel all right though. I think this is, well, see? Now you see how this starts to happen? Now I'm going to scrape all this out, put it back in here, and then I'm going to put more yellow, but not add yellow to a color. That's the problem when you add it to a color. I'm just adding it to a well that has residue. Now I'm starting to see. Now I'm starting to see a better yellow-orange. Still too dark. But instead of adding yellow, I'm going to take this out and put it over there and do it again and again and again until, see, I'm taking it all the way out. See if I can show you this up close. All right, so what happened? I made this too dark, too dark, too dark, too dark, too dark, too dark. I didn't know this was too dark until I realized that my orange was too red, and then when I lightened it, I realized it was too close in value. So what I'm basically doing here is wiping this out. I'm not just throwing more and more yellow into it. I want to get it to a point where the residue of my incorrect orange is a residue, like literally. See, I don't have any paint really in there except a fleck of a residue. Now I can put yellow in it. And that's why I was saying, like, if you keep adding yellow to something, you get yourself in a lot of trouble. If you have too much paint in something, move it to the next one and then start over. That's a lot better. A lot better. These two are the hardest. Now the only thing left to do is the mud, which is everything, so you can use a dirty pen, whatever. And you just want to mix it until it looks like a brown. If it feels like a color, you have to add the opposite. Clearly, this looks like red. So what's the opposite of red? Green. So green is yellow and blue, but I want to put more yellow. In this case, you can add yellow to it because it's mud. It's not like I'm going for a light one. I'm just trying to make a green-ish. Don't want too much blue, but I want to neutralize that red. And you want to ask yourself, what color does this look like? Is it brown? it's better now. It looks like a red, what we call burnt sienna. So once again, you're going to need green. If you happen to have extra green over there, you can do that. And if you want to make a green on the side to make sure you're not getting the wrong visual proportions, you can make a green on the side so that you don't eat up your yellow. And then if you have any left over, if you use a clean finger, if you happen to have extra, you can put it back in your green or blue-green. But at least I know I've made one, and now I can add it. Okay, now my mud is starting to look like mud. Neutralizing it. I don't know why I'm doing my fingers. It just seems better to see from there, it looks like, and I just want to get the right hues on here so you can really see. That's pretty good. So I'm just going to wipe this off, and any other stray flecks that are in there. But these are the hues you want to really try to go for. Yellow, 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 orange, orange, red, orange, red, red, violet, black, violet, mud, blue, violet, blue, blue, green, green, and yellow, green. That's the palette, and I'll take a picture, and I wish you the best of luck.